All right, so I watched another Indonesian horror film called Janji Darah, which I think translates to Blood Promise, if I remember correctly. Uh, if I knew that going in, I probably would have been able to figure out what was going on here a little earlier, but of course I don't speak Indonesian. So, anyway, this is about an expecting couple who is dealing with the husband's past blood promise, and the wife is being stalked by an entity and trying to figure out why. We do get developments here of his past with his cousin and their very abnormal relationship, and what all ends up happening with them is the big story of the film. There's always some message to these. Like I've noticed with Indonesian films, they always end with text, and it's always trying to tell you like something about like life or death, or you need to pray to Allah, or you need to be a better person, or there's some kind of like almost Aesop's fable morality tale going on here, and it's always like kind of preaching in one way or another. I find that to be kind of fascinating. Anyway, so overall, I didn't care for this movie much. I found it to be pretty melodramatic, Lifetime esque. The relationship between the husband and wife in this, in the beginning, it feels like a freaking jewelry commercial or something, like or like like a wedding ring commercial or something. Like the way that it's filmed and the way that they're acting with one another, it feels very cheesy, very hokey, very like cutesy, and I don't know, it feels like like a one of those random Christmas movies that they put on the Hallmark Channel or something. I was like, what the hell is going on? Did I even gotta watch this shit? And then we start to kind of get into the horror stuff, and it's very generic horror. The relationship, so we get some flashbacks about his past with his cousin, and that stuff was somewhat interesting and is what kept me somewhat intrigued with this movie to actually finish it. But once you're so far in, I just say screw it, and I want to like bring you guys these reviews to save you your time, because I won't review a movie I haven't finished. So I kind of just grit my teeth and bear through it. And ultimately, yeah, it just ended up being pretty melodramatic, pretty silly, very PG-13, but not in a like acceptable way. There's plenty of PG-13 horror out there that's good, despite what a lot of horror fans seem to suggest. This is definitely not one of them. I found this to be not up my alley, not my speed at all. And I found it to be very generic and, been there, done that a million different times. And this is a very uninteresting way to present this. Even if it was done well, this ain't it. So yeah, not a recommendation. I'll keep this pretty short. Wasn't into this one pretty much at all. So anyway, that's it. It's on Netflix if for some reason you have any interest in checking that out, but I don't see how I could have sold you. It's not a recommendation. All right. Adios.